passionate appetites burn themselves out. So whenever you're in that lustful relationship where you got your big dick daddy and he's wearing it out and he's fucking you good and you coming all on his dick, passions and appetite burn themselves out. Whenever you got Mrs. Wet Pussy that you just love so much and she's giving you all of the sex in the world, passion and appetites burn themselves out. Jezebel could also be called the ruling emotions on the physical plane of consciousness. So if you don't create any distance between you and Jezebel, you will be a sufferer of the spirit of the age. And why do we suffer? Because our consciousness is like Jezebel's, which is simply the animal soul. Do y'all tolerate the Jezebel spirit? A lot of y'all is trying to be Jezebel. A lot of y'all is trying to marry Jezebel. Probably not ready for the convo, but we gonna have it anyway. Nevertheless, I have this against you. Because you imagine that, okay, seems simple enough. Observe thoughts from a distance, right? Nevertheless, I have this against you. This is the soul talking to you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel who calls herself a prophet. Not only does Jezebel, not only does Cardi B rap about having some wet ass pussy, Cardi B will read you some tarot cards. Cardi B will stand in front of an altar. Cardi B will talk to the president of the United States. Jezebel was a princess that married a king. The symbology of that is that, no, it's not the lower vibratory frequencies for which y'all got to worry about. It's these spiritual bitches, okay? Don't ever get it confused. Because it's one and the same. It's going to be the spiritual girl that says, oh, I don't twerk. And it's going to be the twerker that says, I ain't into that. They one and the same. Because the woman Jezebel calls herself a prophet. And by her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. Anything reference to what I don't know what you should eat. Your soul gonna tell you exactly what to do. So if your soul tell you to eat fish, eat fish. If your soul tell you to eat meat. Why? Because you know what people don't ever talk about is how these vegan diets kill people. These herbs that people take kill people because they soul didn't ever tell them. Y'all told them. Y'all didn't even know their blood type. I can't tell you to eat shit. I can't tell you to do nothing. What I said, get on Google is your friend. And when we talk about microdosing, we're talking about 250 milligrams. We're talking about not having a psychedelic experience. We're talking about not tripping out. That's what we're talking about. Now, who am I to judge? But I'm telling you what I'm talking about, though. Y'all trying to get high. Y'all trying to get into a spirit of, just feeling good all the damn time. When the reality is, it's an arduous, slow process. Nevertheless, I have this against you. you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophet, and by her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and eating of the food sacrificed to idols. Psychologically, this means, nevertheless, I require that you make some changes in your thoughts. Because no matter how spiritual you have become, you still believe that sensual pleasure leads to happiness. And you allow this belief to corrupt and mislead your feelings. Sensual pleasure leads to you blacking out eyes and busting out windows and flattening out tires. That's what it leads to. It leads to child support. It leads to demonic children. It leads to you taking care of children by yourself. That's what it leads to. It don't never lead to happiness. And if it do lead to happiness, the happiness is fleeting, so it can never really be happiness. But you still believe that sensual pleasure leads to happiness, and you allow this belief to corrupt and mislead your feelings, which creates more lust and greed for material things. The thing about money is, if I make money, I'm going to give it to my wife, I'm going to give it to my kids. But if Jezebel make money, she going to spend it on her damn self. Is it a bad thing? No. But we don't do stuff for ourselves. We do things for other people. And we talking about the heart chakra right now. We talking about the heart chakra, and we talking about spiritual love. And spiritual love is not sensual pleasure. And some of y'all are trying to get both. But like we said earlier, the soul knows what you need. Might not know exactly what you want. So when you talk about this energy that's happening today, it's very much of identifying the age. The spirit of the age is Jezebel. Jezebel's meanings: metaphysically, intact, untouched, untouchable, unproductive, non-cohabitating, without husband, chaste, virgin, adulterous, base, unexalted, licentious. Yes, this is the spirit of the age. When you are a young man and you go out on dates, these are the type of women you're going to talk to. Unproductive, non-cohabitating. It's easier for her to be single because you're just another lick. You're just a munch.
You thought I was feeling you? No. That nigga a munch. Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body,
She wants you to eat her pussy. That's what a munch is. Eat her pussy and leave. Unproductive, non-cohabitating, without husband. This is a spirit. This is a spirit that you're going to counter. I don't care, and it don't matter her name or last name or where she come from. This is a spirit. It don't matter who the rapper is or the movie that you watch. It is a spirit. It is something that you will never change. And if you are in relations with this spirit, you gonna understand now why you are beating your head up against the wall. The metaphysics of Jezebel is the animal soul, unbridled passions of sense consciousness. When the union of the ruling identity in the intellect and the lustful desires of the body is complete, the whole man is involved in error. Let's read that again. When the union of the ruling identity in the intellect and the lustful desires of the body are one, the whole man is involved in error. This is a rearing, an altar for Baal in the house of Baal. Jezebel could also be called the ruling emotions on the physical plane of consciousness. She met a violent death, passionate appetites burned themselves out. So whenever you're in that lustful relationship where you got your big dick daddy and he's wearing it out and he's fucking you good and you coming all on his dick, passions and appetite burn themselves out. Whenever you got Mrs. Wet Pussy that you just love so much and she's giving you all of the sex in the world, passion and appetites burn themselves out. Jezebel could also be called the ruling emotions on the physical plane of consciousness. So if you don't create any distance between you and Jezebel, you will be a sufferer of the spirit of the age. And why do we suffer? Because our consciousness is like Jezebel's, which is simply the animal soul. But let's deal with this further. Anima. Anima is another word for the soul. We're going to look at the historical philosophical definition. Number 2, we're not in the Jungian psychology understanding of the anima. We're looking at anima as another word for spirit or soul, especially the irrational part of the soul. And trust me, if you cannot identify the difference between the irrational part of your spirit and the rational part of your spirit, you will be dealing with the irrational part of the soul. This is the anima. This is the animal spirit. This is the Jezebel spirit. This is the spirit of the age. False astrology, false healings, false teachings, false courses, false everything is irrational, because the only teaching is the reclamation of your soul and awaken to your soul, which is going to come from detaching and observing the emotions that you have, which is an arduous, difficult process. The easy way is to listen to somebody be irrational. So we have anima and we also have animus, which the definition would be temper, but that's like saying I have animosity. But really, in the Latin, the animus meant the rational soul, the mind, the life, the mental powers, the consciousness, the sensibility, courage, desire. Animus would be your psychic abilities, okay? Your living being, soul, mind, disposition, passion, courage, anger, spirit, feeling.